What's up, YouTube? Deadjar here, bringing another video today. Today, we're going to be going over my regional deck profile. I played Sky Strikers and I went X-2, so I didn't actually receive a top cut in top 8, but I did get 14th place. I just slightly bubbled, unfortunately. Just the tiebreakers weren't there, and I did not go X1, so it is what it is. It's completely okay. I have my invite. I'm ready to go to Nats. And I don't feel like anything that I lost to was directly because of my fault or what I drew, or I mean what I played. It was always what I drew, or just not having the right cards, or just not having the right matchup. It just kind of came down to that, and it was just unfortunate the two matches I did lose to. And I'll explain all that stuff, but we'll kind of get into this deck profile and talk about this stuff here. So obviously we play the 3 Ray, which is standard. You gotta play 3 Ray. And then hat trap lineup, we played 3 Ash, we played 3 Bell. Josh was lending me his bells, so shout out to him. Thank you, Josh, for lending me the bells. And then the last hand traps I played were 2 impermanents. Ghost Bell was actually absolutely amazing, even against Rogue, just because it could hit the Called by the Grave, it could hit the Monster Reborn, it could just hit all that kind of stuff. It was just actually amazing. Ghost Bell did so much for me, and honestly, if I didn't run this, I don't think I even would have went X2. I think this card was just absolutely clutch for me all day. I didn't use it as much as I was wanting to use it, but in every aspect, every time I used it, it was insanely clutch and game changing. So it was just super good, and I'm not sure if I'll keep running 3, because I picked up a 3rd impermanence. I think I'd rather have the impermanence. I think impermanence is just stronger. Sorry about the glare down there, guys. I'll make sure I put all the cards up in the middle. But yeah, we'll kind of see where the deck goes from there. But that's what we're running. And then I did still main deck 3 Panker Tops. This card was absolutely just insane in testing. It was never bad. It was never horrible. It was just always good. So I feel like I'm just gonna run 3 of these and keep them in. One thing I might be able just to cut it to 2. I might be cutting it to 2 just because for certain medicals and the banlist change, I think that 2 I just to fit into my deck other cards that I want to play. But this card was absolutely amazing. This was another MVP. This and Ghost Bell were MVPs. Sometimes I just won game just solely based on this. So yeah. And then spells. We got our 3 Engage, of course. This card is absolutely amazing. Our 3 Widow Anchor, and then we actually went for 3 Multi-Roll here. And you guys are going to see right away that I'm only playing 2 of the Field Spell. This card, I felt like I just never really want to search this with Engage unless I absolutely had to. And I want to see it draw it as much as possible. A lot of times when I was attacking with Hayate just directly for damage, I'd just be sending one of these to the graveyard as just fodder for spells in the grave, because you don't need to do 3, so it's fine there. But that's kind of that. Honestly, I don't regret running this at 3, and I'll definitely keep it at 3 for now on, I think. So yeah. And yeah, I am still playing this deck, guys. And then we played 2 of the Field Spell, like I said. I don't think 3 is necessary. I think 2 is just fine. And then we played 1 Hornet Drones. This card was really mediocre, obviously. You usually just want to end on your raise, so whatever. 1 Afterburners, 1 Jamming Waves. I will not play this. This card is really good. I think you should have access to all of them. So 1 Shark Cannon, and I played 2 Eagle Booster, because Eagle Booster, this card's absolutely amazing. Another card that actually just won me a lot of games in regionals. 2 Terraforming I played. Self-explanatory. I felt like this was just way better. I feel like if we had 3 Terraforming, we would probably still play 3 Terraforming and 2 of the Field Spell. The Terraforming is just good to get the Field Spell in the grave. You should be playing that. Twin Twister. We're playing, this card was great, but we decided to cut it down to 2 because I was a little bit worried about just facing too many combo decks, and it was dead against Thunder Dragons, and the meta just kind of evolved from when it was pure Sky Striker mirror. So I felt like running 3 would just be dead too much, and I felt like 2 was just fine, so it did work out quite a bit for me. And then we played 2 Called by the Grave. This card may not be necessary going into the next format. It really depends. But, this card was just really good. I felt like this is one of the few trap cards I'm running in the deck that also just doubles as continuing to make sure my Engage goes through against Ash or stuff like that. But this card is just honestly the best. The fact that it's better as a trap and it's a spell. So yeah. Then we played the Foolish Goods package. Self-explanatory. And then we played Rhoda, and our main deck was 41. Why did I always play 41? I've never been a fan of Upstart, so I don't play Upstart. And so I never have to make sure I run 40, and I feel like just like in decks like this, especially like Sky Strikers, having the utility in your deck is more important than having the consistency. So I feel like that's fine, and consistency doesn't get all hurt too much by one card. Next we'll go into the extra deck, which is pretty standard. We played 3 Kagari. Like I said, pretty standard. We played 3 Shizuku and 3 Hayate. You want to play the 9, you really need the 9. I played 1 Clara, even though I didn't play any Altergeist. I feel like this is just like something you need in there because they're running Secret Village now so much that this just needs to be played in the deck. 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Trisbano, 1 Bomber Dragon, and 1 Boral Sword. The only time I made Bomber Dragon, it was actually my own misplay, but I wouldn't cut this card. I misplayed with this card, and I shouldn't have made it. And then Boral Sword, I made like quite a few times actually. Every time like I felt like they just had no disruptions and I was going to play through, I would just kill them and win. So I felt like it was definitely worth it. Besides that, I made Trisbano once. I think I made this once. I made this once, and then like most of the time you're just staying in your stuff. You don't ever really want to link into other stuff until you know the game's like 100% yours. Because with Sky Strikers, if you don't end the game and you lose advantage, you just lose. 2 Gamma Steel on the side deck. I feel like this card was really good. I'm probably going to bump this to 3. I played 2 Droll. This was Ogre going to the event, but I got scared of the FTK, so I was like, you know what, let's just play the Drolls. It'll probably be better. 2 Mind Control. I'm going to explain this card after. 2 Enemy Controller and 2 Herald. So, what the thing is here, 2 Mind Control, it was like, it was really good, and 2 Econ, like, they essentially do the same thing, and I didn't want to see, like, multiples of either of them, so instead of playing 3 of one, I played 2 of each. That way I could see, like, one of them, or one of each of them, rather than seeing ever 2 of the same one. And sort of, that kind of went along with Herald of the Abyss. I didn't want to lose the Thunder Dragons, which I did play, and I did beat. But, yeah, this is kind of that. And then we got 1 Hercules base because I wanted to have the option there. I didn't want to have it not there for the mirror match. 1 Galaxy Cyclone. Also, this is important against Altergeist. I forgot to say this is pretty important against Altergeist because they do grind out quite a bit. So if you can get this, you can usually win. Plus, a lot of people are playing cherries. The thing with cherries against this deck, like, this is good when they cherries you. Due to the fact that usually when they cherries you, it's because you have Ray on board. Sometimes if you really had to go for the token, it really just sucks. But if you have the Ray on board, you can chain it and at least bring out one of the ones that you think he's going to banish, like Kagari or something like that, and then you can spin them back from your graveyard later in the game. So this is important to have just in the matchups. But this, you know, on the Galaxy Cyclone was, I just was swapped out Metal Flows a lot of times when I would be going second. Anytime I was going second, I'd be swapping out Metal Flows for this. Or if I was going first and it was just game 2 and I knew they played a lot of back row, I put this in instead of Metal Flows Fusion. This card was actually just so good, so I would not run it. And then we played 1 Twin Twister, the third one, just in case we got into more of those matchups. We didn't want that. And then we played 2 Heavy Storm Duster. I was borrowing one, so I only have 2 here. I only have 1, but yeah, 2 Heavy Storm Duster. This is what we ended up playing. This card is pretty clutch. Okay, so let's talk about matchups, guys. We will talk about matchups. So round 1, I played against Rongo, and game 1 and 3. I did win die roll, but honestly, in that matchup, it doesn't really matter if you win die roll or if they draw broken. It doesn't really matter if they you win die roll. I went first. I made a board. I set like a 1 Widowmaker, Call by the Grave. And the thing is, the Call by the Grave was really strong. So what happens? He goes magical mid-breaker field, which instantly makes my Widowmaker dead, but my Call by the Grave is still live. So I'm like, okay, I can play through this. I just gotta hopefully. I don't know at the time what he's playing. I was like, hopefully he just doesn't FTK me or just doesn't have the combo. And so he puts the militia to the graveyard. I called by the grave it right away, and the call by the grave goes through. And so he wasn't going to be able to do anything after that because I was stopping his play so largely. And then what happens is the fact he before he activated anything, so what happens is he activates Monster Reborn. Sorry, my bad, guys. He activates Monster Reborn, brings back Armageddon Knight, and then he just extends and makes Ron go, and I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. So, go game 2, I just absolutely, I go first, I just dominate, there's nothing there. He can't play through it. Game 3, he opens mid-breaker field. Even though I had the outs, he had the OTK on me. Then in the next, I had the out for it though. So he goes mid-breaker field. I have the Nash, and this stops he misplays, and it stops his board from being able to make Rongo, which he then passes and gives to me. Unfortunately, I completely bricked. I did not draw playable. I did not draw any engine. Otherwise, if I drew even just a Ray, I probably would have won that match. I just drew absolutely bad, just insanely bad. So it is what it is. So that's my round 1. Round 2, I played Fluffle. Not really much to say. It was I OTK'd him both like turn 2 with Boral Sword both games, so it was like just really that easy. Round 3 was my surprise hard matchup, which was Black Wings. And yeah, people say, well, like, why is Black Wings? First off, I didn't know what they did. So instead of like disrupting, I let him make a synchro. I let him make a synchro instead of like stealing the monster and not letting him sync, because I didn't know what he was gonna bring out. And this guy pops out Black Wing Full Armor Master, who is unaffected by everything. So it took me a lot longer for this matchup. We ended up going to game 3, and he asked me, do I want to go? We're getting close to time, and he asked me if I want to go first or second. And I look at the clock and see like 3 minutes left. I was like, you know, if I go first, we're gonna end in a draw. And I'm like, if I get a draw and I already have a loss, this means I'm not gonna be able to take another loss or a draw for the rest of the event, and it's only round 3. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna let you go first, because so I took the risk. Black Wings have burning effects that they can burn you. So if he could combo off and burn me and just combo for the rest of the turn, and I wouldn't be able to come back and win. It was a risk I had to take though, because I really didn't want to take the draw. I didn't want to take the loss either. I'd rather take the loss than take the draw, or have a chance at taking the win. So what he does is he bricks pretty good. Unfortunately, the dude bricks. He ends on a Link Rebo and passes. I special summon a Pankratops. I destroy the Link Rebo, summon my Ray, attack with the Ray, make Hayate, attack with Hayate, and then I continue to search off my stuff for the rest of the turn until time is called. So I search, I think I end like Widow Anchor, something. Like I kept advancing my game state. I didn't like slow play him. I didn't do anything. I just had to keep advancing my game state, because if I didn't and I just passed, there was the chance he just summons something and wins. So I'd rather just, you know, advance my game state. So even if he has time, I'm going to win. So that's kind of what happened there. Round 4, I played against, I have it in my notes here. So round 4, I played against, oh yeah, that was Thunder. I think that was the Thunder Dragon matchup. I'm pretty sure that was my Thunder Dragon matchup. I might be getting the rounds a little bit mixed up. But I played Thunder Dragons. I won die roll. Game 1 was a little bit of a grind, but I ended up just grinding and winning. Being able to, like, I think he just like made a Colossus board, and I just outed it. And then after I outed the board, it was just easy. After that, they don't really have like follow-up plays after they already made like 3 Colossus besides like Thunder Dragon Fusion and Graveyard. So it was like, whatever. Game 2, he makes double Colossus Titan board. I literally look at my hand. I'm like, yeah, I'll just scoop game 3. I just didn't feel like playing it out. I didn't think I was gonna be able to win or come back. I felt like I was just gonna get OTK next turn. I felt like it was just a better option than going into time or just like wasting time in the match to go into game 3. So I did that, and we actually ended up going to time in game 3. Or no, we didn't. But I ended up winning. It was a grindy game. It felt like at times either of us who could have won. I feel like I just made the right plays, and that's what happened there. Why I ended up winning that one. Then round 5 was my next loss, and I lost to Paleo. I don't know what to say. Like Paleo, I lost to Floodgates. If the guy's watching my video, like, or if you happen to be watching this video or anything, like, I'm not trying to hate on anyone. I'm really not. I don't try to hate on stuff, but Paleo, like, it's Floodgates. It's a Floodgate deck. Like, sure, I guess. I just didn't draw the cards. What it came down to. Game two, I might have been able to out if I drew like one more card that was like a slightly better chance. But game two, I just once again it was like it was like a rehash of round one, game three. I just drew so bad. I drew so bad. I drew not playing. And it wasn't fair. Um, Game one was once again I never saw like the main deck cards that I needed to see, and I felt like if I would have opened better game one, I felt I didn't open that well. I did win the die roll, but I just didn't open well enough. If I would have opened better, I probably would have won the game. And then game two, I just opened extremely bad, like not playing at all. Game one I was at least playing, so that's what happened there. Like rivalry, mistake, anti spell, that stuff like that stuff gets flipped on me. I just didn't even really get to play the match. So, like, I don't really what to say. It's not like I got outplayed. It just, like, the guy had better cards than me for the matchup. So, that's cool. Round 6, I played Trickstar. I won, I believe, 2-0. Game 1, I just, like, went pretty calm. He got me down to, like, 1,000 by, like, mostly burning. And I was like, yeah, I just have to make sure I can play around the Lilybell loop or the Lilybell attack directly. And I did that, and I just came back and won. It was just about, like, once I gained the advantage, he just couldn't really do anything to come back and win. It was funny though. I had to play one Trickstar since I wasn't playing at this regional, so that was fun. And then the last round was round 7. I played against True Draco. I ended up winning this match 2-1 once again, but like, it wasn't hard. I feel like I could have the biggest thing is like game 2 is he resolved Awakening the Dragons. I could have outed it and I made Boral Sword. When I went to attack with Boral Sword, he went Skills Rain, so I just scooped and we went game 3 and then I just won from just playing better. But yeah, that's kind of it. So those are my matchups, guys. That's my in-depth my everything that what happened and what just like, how we played. So overall as a team, we played absolutely amazing. All of us won X2 except for one player, and then one person got X1. 2 of us getting top 8. So I'm actually happy. I'm happy. My boy Josh and Nick both got top 8 over I did. So like I'm happy. Josh had better tiebreakers than I did, and I'm happy. Because they got invites and they're there. So I'm very, very pumped. Nationals is gonna be lit. It's gonna be so much fun. Anyway, guys, please comment, like, subscribe. I'm gonna be doing daily videos again. So we're back at it. Thank you guys for watching. See you so much later.